Wacha kunisoea, unasikia?
Kuvaa tu kitu kama hii na unafikiria mimi ni pia ni wale kumsala.
Umendisira kabisa.
Bwana tunakurudishia shukrani kwa sababu ulipoenda pale Goligota utomekocha mbele zako tukielekea Goligota.
Hapo mlipofika ni hapo. Weka hiyo sinia chini.
Mimi nilishake wa Kirinyaga parish.
Si lazima mjifanye Waislamu.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday from 10 p.m. and a rerun every Tuesday from 2 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Well, we have a lot for you this hour, from changes made in the gubernatorial seat in Meru County to the Dutch royal visit that is imminent. And this week, that will be the focus, especially from State House Nairobi and the Foreign Affairs Ministry that will be coordinating with the Dutch royals' entourage to ensure they have a smooth visit here in the country, amongst other stories making headlines at this hour. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim, the sign language interpreter, and the bottom end of the screen is Lensa Odingo. And we start with our top story this afternoon, and it is that Isaac Mutuma has been sworn in as the new Meru County Governor, replacing Kawera Mwangaza, who was impeached. The swearing-in ceremony held at Mwendatu grounds in Meru comes barely days after the High Court upheld the impeachment of Mwangaza by the Senate. In his acceptance speech, Mutuma promised the residents improved service delivery by the county government, with emphasis on better healthcare services and youth empowerment. The event was attended by a section of Meru leaders, including Senate Deputy Speaker Kathuri Murungi and former Meru Governor Kiraitu Murungi. Now, also, we want to link up with our reporter, that is Giverson Minor, who's on the ground and was covering that particular event, and we'll be reaching out to him any moment from now. I do understand we have not gotten a hold of him. Once we do get a hold of him, he will tell us more about what is happening in Meru County. But I do understand we do have pictures from earlier on. Let's have a look at those pictures at Mwendatu grounds once the new governor was sworn in. Well, that was earlier on Mandato grounds, where the Meru County, of course, saw the swearing in of their fourth governor since the inception of a devolution. It becomes the fourth governor of Meru County, and of course, following the impeachment of the former governor, that is Kawira Mwangaza. And of course, you do know what happened at the corridors of justice, especially at the High Court, where Justice Bahati Mwamuye concurred with the results that emanated from the Senate's impeachment last year of Kawira Mwangaza, and of course now assured that she was impeached. And of course, our reporter Giverson Minor will be giving us a little bit of update on the ground, just telling us what happened exactly after the swearing in of the fourth governor of Meru County. And of course, also the speeches were made there from the governor himself and other leaders. We'll be looking at that. If we do have those clips, we'll be playing them for you. But quickly to another story here, where Their Majesties King William Alexander and Queen Maxima of the Kingdom of Netherlands are set to jet into the country this evening for the state visit for the 18th to the 20th of March. The two are visiting the country at the invitation of President William Ruto and will highlight the strong diplomatic ties and long-standing cooperation that has existed between Kenya and Netherlands that spans more than 60 years. During their stay in the country, the two will engage in high-level meetings with the President and government officials to explore opportunities for further collaboration on issues such as trade, investment, climate action and sustainable development. That story will be coming up shortly. That is our focus as well this particular week, where the Dutch royals are expected to touch down this evening on Monday, and of course they will conclude their visit on a Thursday. We'll do have all the information in regards to what they will be doing in exactly different parts of the country, especially here in the capital and in Nakuru County. But for now, we take a look at other stories making headlines at this hour, where a section of legislators have called on President William Ruto to scrap the competency-based curriculum CBC, alleging that it is not working in Kenya. The legislators criticized the curriculum after the Ministry of Education disclosed that mathematics will not be a core subject for learners not pursuing the science, technology, engineering and mathematics STEM pathways. Addressing teachers from Coastal Region, Embakasi East, a member of parliament, that is Babu Owino, and his Malindi counterpart, Amina Mnyazi, said the move will lower education standards in the country. The leaders also appealed for the salary increment for teachers.
How do you make mathematics an optional subject if your intention is not bad?
Tuko na pesa za NGCDS, tunalipia watoto basari, tunakwenda kujenga mijengo ya shule, and the teachers are not motivated at their workplace. Haiwezekani.
We need to know, are we under primary school, are we under secondary school, or we are an independent institution? Let it be tabled on a bill. We need to see ourselves as teachers or an independent institution. Propose a bill at the parliament. Make it known that junior school teachers are separate or we are the head teacher.
Whether you are a junior secondary school teacher, whether you are a high school teacher, a senior secondary school teacher, bottom line is you are a teacher in the teaching profession and you deserve to speak one voice, because what kills the other has the potential to finish.
And in other news, professionals drawn from Samburu County have called on religious and local leaders in the region to join forces and find a lasting solution to the recurring conflicts in Samburu North area. Now, the Samburu County Professional Association emphasized the need for peace and unity among communities living in the region. Speaking during a visit of victims of clashes at the Samburu County Referral Hospital, the professionals and a section of leaders from the region called on the government to provide employment opportunities to the youth in the area who have historically been involved in cattle wrestling.
Tunataka pia serikali tusaidia hawa morans ambaye wako msituni nini watafutia wa kitu ambaye watafanya, kama hata wale ambaye wamekuwa watu wakubwa, you cannot go back to school, but kuna hizi ma technicals, watu wajengewe, watu waende, at least watu waelemishwe, pia makanisa ijengwe kwa wingi.
We are also talking to our people to tell them that violence is never good. We are not for violence. We are for peaceful coexistence.
Commissioner na idara yake ndio anafaa kukaa chini na watu wa makanisa wakae chini, watatue shida, wajaribu kuingia watu katikati, wasiwache watu wamalizane.
Elsewhere, several people were injured after supporters of Migori Governor Ochilo Ayako and Uriri MP Mark Nyamita clashed at Migori Stadium after the match between Migori Youth and Mofa. Chaos erupted immediately when Nyamita stood up to meet the players as the patron of Migori Youth Football Club after Governor Ochilo Ayako had finished addressing the players. Police were forced to use tear gas canisters to quell the chaos. The two leaders called for political tolerance, saying it is not yet time for political campaigns.
I was there in my capacity as a patron of Migori Youth Football Club. When they already finished with the players, as they were walking out and we were going to address the players, they began pelting at the team that we were going with stones. They pelted my vehicles with stones, completely unprovoked. And it is my hope that the media will be able to depict this. The police officer, under the command of one Sergeant Waziri, an officer who came with a couple of a couple of armed police officers, went and cordoned off the team that was on the governor's side, threw tear gas to the direction where we were.
Cabinet Secretaries Hassan Ali Joho of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs and Aden Duale of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry are urging the Muslim community to unite, support the broad-based government and obtain national identity cards. Speaking at the third annual graduation ceremony of the Ibn Abbas Islamic Center in Mombasa County, the Cabinet Secretaries emphasized the importance of Muslim communities' active participation in national politics and leadership. Mombasa Governor, that is Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir, said the county government will work with ward representatives to identify individuals lacking IDs and birth certificates and facilitate applications for the said documents.
Sheikh Sugu amesema mambo ya ambition ya Muislamu kuwa rais. Mimi nataka, I'm sure others also want. We now have an opportunity. So mimi nataka kila mali tukikaa, kila mtu wetu kwa hali na mali achukue kitambulisho haraka. Ukikwama pigia mimi simu, pigia Aden Duale simu, pigia Abdul Samad, pigia Yakub na pigia Deko hapa. We must make sure our people are registered.
Haya mambo yote tutaweka ikimalizika tu Ramadhani namna hii. Ward 30, ward administrators wetu pale kwa village level, tutatoa watu kila mmoja nyumbani aende, tujue database yetu kama tatizo ni nini, watu wetu wote katika hii Mombasa, na hatutobagua rangi, hatutobagua dini, hatutobagua kabila. Kila mmoja ambaye kwamba anahitaji usaidizi ya kuweza kupata ID yake.
Also, a section of youths from Gatundu North constituency in Kiambu County are set to benefit from the launch of a technical and vocational training college which aims to provide them with practical skills that will enable them to start income-generating activities and alleviate unemployment. Speaking during the official opening of the college, Gatundu North Member of Parliament Elijah Kuria averred that the technical skills will improve the livelihood of thousands of unemployed youths in the region. He noted that equipping the youths with requisite vocational skills will help curb their indulgence in alcoholism, drug abuse and petty crimes.
Ianzishwa na vijana wetu wa hapa Mangu ambao wameona waanze beauty college, na itakuwa inasaidia wale wanafunzi ambao wanataka kusomea beauty ambao wamekuwa wakienda Thika na Nairobi na wanaenda kulipa hostel. Sasa hapa watakuwa wanasoma na wanarudi nyumbani, kwa hivyo bei ya kusoma imekuja chini.
The main purpose of bringing this college in Gatondo North, one is to kill the idleness that is in Gatondo North, that is in matters of unemployment, and that is leading to depression and too much of alcohol consumption.
It's going to bring growth in our constituency. This is also going to empower the youths in terms of studying these short courses that will enable them to employ themselves.
The Embu County government has been criticized for its lack of support for the Eastern Region Agriculture Show, a significant event aimed at benefiting local farmers. During the closing ceremony of the ASK show, Manyata Member of Parliament Gitonga Mukunji called for collaboration among all stakeholders to elevate the event to both national and international levels. He reiterated the importance of the Agricultural Society of Kenya investing in digital infrastructure, attracting high-level exhibitors to expose local farmers to advanced agricultural technologies which will enhance their productivity, value addition and profits.
This handles livestock. I will be in the front line ya kusupport na kuhakikisha show ya ASK imejulikana not only in Kenya lakini imejulikana internationally. Watu wa exhibitors wanatoka kutoka kila mahali, na hiyo inaweza fanyika kama viongozi na ile team ya ASK zimeshikana na zinaweza kuongea lugha moja.
Tutafanya an expo katika around mwezi wa 7, mwezi wa 8, ndio tuweze sasa kuleta wale wakulima, wale wawekezaji ambao hawakuweza kukuja kwa show ya leo, ndio pia tuweze kujumuika pamoja, tuendeleze mbinu mpya za kilimo kwa watu wa eneo hili.
Over 200 matatu drivers in Isiolo County have participated in the road safety sensitization seminar organized by the Traffic Police Department in collaboration with the Meru Isiolo SACCO. The initiative aims to educate drivers on road safety regulations and proper conduct towards passengers. The training was launched in response to rising concerns of a misconduct among a section of matatu operators, including breaches of basic road safety rules that often lead to accidents. Officials highlighted the need to follow traffic laws and uphold professionalism in service delivery. Additionally, the drivers were enrolled in the Social Health Authority during this seminar.
Angalia hizo licenses zao kama ziko valid hata kwa e-citizen, na kama mtu amesahau kurenew, tumuonyeshe njia ya kurenew. Wale wako na classes ambazo haziingiani na gari yenye anapeleka, tumekubaliana na wao watakuja ku upgrade.
Ile madriver tumewatrain leo, the leadership of the Meiso cycle make a follow up kuhakikisha ile mafunzo wamepewa watilie maanane, and also to bring other people on board kung'ang'ana na mambo ya usalama barabarani.
Tulikuwa tumeita watu wa SHA because tunataka mandriver wetu wote wawe compliance as far as the medical cover is concerned.
Na lakini pia tunaomba the management ya SHA we ensure that this thing is working so that madriver wetu wakati watapokuwa wanaenda na familia kwa hospitali wasiteseke.
Conservationists and environmentalists are exploring sustainable ways of management of an invasive species of cactus plant that is spreading in arid and semi-arid regions of the country. One of the approaches is formulation of the national policy to guide management of the plant species. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations is spearheading the initiative through consultative meeting in Laikipia, Isiolo, Taita Taveta and Marsabit counties. During one such forum in Nyanyuki, Laikipia County, community representatives maintained their wish was to see the invasive cactus eradicated totally.
Landscape, which is in Isiolo and Laikipia, and then Mount Kulala forest landscape.
So with LWF, we have provided them with funds to support this work, and to support it in terms of training, to support it in terms of buying equipment.
The Orthodox Church has been commended for the critical role it is playing in fostering education in rural areas of Nandi County. The principals of Mugende Mixed Secondary School, Bishop Neo Kongai Mixed Day School and Bishop Macarius Mixed Day School say that the churches are supporting infrastructure in the schools has been paying fees for needy students in the area to help them continue with their studies. Bishop Neo Fitos Kongai of the Orthodox Church Diocese of Eldoret and Northern Kenya said the church values education and has had several airlifts targeting beneficiaries as students who excel to study abroad in various disciplines.
As a church, we're able to sponsor 3 secondary schools right now. This is Bishop Neo Secondary School. We have Bishop Macarius Secondary School and Bishop Athanasius Secondary School. And we have primary schools as well, alongside our secondary school.
Spiritual support has in turn supported the academic progress. You cannot do well if you are morally poor. A good student should have the ethics. Those ethics will help that student to learn.
You talk about sponsorship. This is where we are getting the real sponsorship. Right from the structures, as we have seen, the 8 structures, the 8 classes for the tuition, it is because of the church.
And now take a look at this particular story, where in an area where digital platforms are reshaping how communities engage, Felix Chesire, an assistant chief in Kipcherere sub-location, has embraced technology to communicate with residents in his jurisdiction in a way that only entertainers but also educates. Chesire has earned the nickname TikTok Chief for his innovative use of the popular platform to address vices like illicit brews, drug addiction and other issues affecting the community.
Meet Felix Chesire, a TikToker chief famously known by the name Soy Comedy. Chesire collaborates with 2 local youths, Vincent Chesang and Caleb Kiplagat, in producing skits that feature humorous yet thought-provoking portrayals of notorious characters of old men who are often on the wrong side of the law. Both Vincent and Caleb abused drugs, but their lives were turned around through the intervention of Chief Chesire.
Niliamua kuingia TikTok kwa sababu the only way yenye unaweza pata kila mtu kwa hii society ya sahi ni simu.
Tukaona yenyewe huyu chief wetu ana nia mbaya na sisi. So akajenga urafiki na sisi. So kujenga urafiki na sisi pia nao tukaamua waje tufanye vile anasema. Juu yenyewe anatusaidia.
Today they are key players in the chief's TikTok campaign, spreading the gospel of transformation and hope to the youth.
Content ya kwanza ya kutengeneza ilikuwa ya pombe. Hiyo ndio tulianza nayo na ikaenda viral.
Their skits, which depict the journey from addiction to reform, have resonated with a large audience, especially the younger generation, a demographic that often doesn't attend traditional barazas and consume their information from social media.
So hiyo kitu ikanikujia, tukaongea nao wase, tukaangalia mambo ya TikTok. So tukaona this is the only way yenye tunaweza pass information kwa wenye wako parasa, wenye wako karibu na wenye wako mbali.
Nataka muniombe. I'm going through a lot of problems.
Through their viral TikTok skits, the trio has gained a large following with fans predominantly from Kipcherere sub-location. The content, while comic, highlights the consequences of errant behavior and promotes positive change.
So baada ya kufanya kwa hiyo TikTok tukaona tumeelimisha watu, tumetransform maisha ya watu wengi, hata vijana wamekuja karibu.
So wametusaidia zaidi kwa hii mambo ya TikTok, maana tukiona wana act vile wanatakikana wakae.
Wamenisaidia mimi sana kama muuguzi wa hospitali kwa kuelimisha watu kuhusu mambo ya pombe, hatari ya pombe, ufutaji wa zikara.
As part of his commitment to reform, Chief Chesire also emphasizes the importance of support systems. Reformed individuals are encouraged to form groups to hold each other accountable.
Indeed, innovative ways to address some of the issues bedeviling the society, and of course a clever way of adopting it with how we are moving to the digital space. That concludes our first segment of KBC's Lunchtime News. Don't go too far. On the other side of the break, we'll be telling you more about what is happening in the world of business and sports.
Chance goal! Cote d'Ivoire are back in the game!
The FIFA World Cup 2026 Africa qualifiers match schedule is up for match day 5. In Group F, the Gambia will host Harambee Stars on Thursday, the 20th of March from 10 p.m.
Shown, and which may show here. And yes, the breakthrough's there for Kenya.
Catch the action live from Alassane Ouattara Stadium in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, live and exclusive. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancements, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. This means that technology exists to help us achieve the things that we wouldn't be able to achieve without it. Take on Tech looks at the advantages and downside of technological innovation in a world that is becoming increasingly dependent on new digital technologies. Every Monday at 10:30 p.m.
I talk about Kikuyu people coming together to celebrate their food.
Wanjine, Erosh, Washuka, folk fusion, and even a surprise set by the Mugithi king himself, Samido. The Jam at Goethe Institute Nairobi just delivered another high-energy night of music, and this time it was pure fire.
He's been in this game long enough. Check him out.
So in a practical way, bring in film festivals so that you can watch films where the festivals are housing and hosting films about you and people like you in this country.
Amani ziwe juu yake akizidisha juhudi katika ibada katika hii kumi hili la mwisho katika mwezi wa mtukufu wa Ramadhan. Ishhad an-nabii fauka ma kana yajtahidu fi ghayriha. Alikuwa akizidisha juhudi ambazo alikuwa hazifanyi katika miezi mingine.
Waislamu wanaweza pata katika kumi la mwisho la mwezi wa Ramadhan na usiku wa Laila.
Billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
now let's get down to business. Kenya is among select African countries that are set to benefit from a 65 billion shilling kitty from the Africa Development Bank that will assist in financing the de-risking agriculture among small-scale farmers. The Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe says public-private partnerships involving financial institutions and underwriters will ensure agriculture is economically viable.
The biggest handle farmers face is limited access to affordable credit due to lack of collateral, credit histories, and financial literacy. As a result, they rely on high interest informal lending or inadequate government subsidies, preventing them from accessing essentials like fertilizers, high-yield seeds, and modern agricultural inputs.
We need to pursue innovative financing models to de-risk through risk-sharing facilities, blended finance, and other services. One example from Zambia, our African Emergency Food Production Facility established a risk-sharing facility that enables commercial banks to lend directly to smallholder farmers.
If large-scale farmers and commercial farmers are getting finance, we have not sat here to address their needs. They don't need to be addressed in a conference. Banks are financing them. The only difference between the small-scale farmers and the large-scale farmers is the equation of economics. But if I get an eighth from the market, from what my competitor is getting, then I start out as a risky actor.
The government is still exploring the possibility of constructing a new airport through a public-private partnership arrangement to the tune of 258 billion shillings. Road and Transport Cabinet Secretary Davis Chirchir says the proposed development aims to address growing passenger traffic at the airport and strengthen Nairobi's position as a regional aviation hub.
Passenger traffic through the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport has risen to 8.21 million passengers, representing a 25.2% increase and accounting for 67.3% of all air passenger traffic in Kenya. To address this, the Kenya Airports Authority in 2011 announced plans to construct the Greenfield Terminal at the JKIA to increase the airport's passenger capacity by 20 million people. However, the deal would later be shelved, and now the government is keen on construction of another airport whose financing would not burden the exchequer and affect other public services.
We are looking at a framework that JKI can leverage on its balance sheet, invite cost-effective or the cost of money that is fairly competitive, that can return on investment in terms of the cost of capital and develop for us a new airport.
Chirchir says the public-private partnership arrangement will be between the investor and the Kenya Airports Authority to ensure that Kenya remains the competitive hub in the East and Central African region.
In terms of competitive advantage for Kenya comparing with other regions who have gone ahead of us and developed modern airports, we need to attract the numbers. We don't want visitors coming to Kenya to come through our neighboring as hubs. We really want to take that advantage.
He says setting up a new airport in Nairobi as well as expansion of JKIA are a priority.
And looking at the horizon on the numbers we need to be servicing in a short while, the building of a new airport is active, an active agenda at Cabinet. We are looking at policies on investments which can support themselves as a business, really being able to do more of PPP as opposed to building on a social capital on our balance sheet.
The Tourism Cabinet Secretary said increasing air traffic capacity in Nairobi is a key enabler for the country's ambitious tourism goals.
And we are glad to see that already a lot of progress has been done since we were here on 31st of January 2025, and we want to commend all the teams that are working towards improving the airport experience. And we really want to work together with all the stakeholders.
They were speaking during the signing of a new customer service charter at JKIA.
Kenya and the International Monetary Fund, IMF, are set to begin talks on a new lending facility after the IMF confirmed receiving a formal request from the Kenyan government. In a statement, IMF Mission Chief, that is Hashim Tefera, said discussions with Kenyan officials will commence soon. Kenya and the IMF have also agreed to discontinue the 9th review of the current $3.6 billion loan program of 466.1 billion shillings.
Fund staff team has concluded an 8-day visit to Kenya after holding discussions on economic and fiscal policies amid evolving challenges. A statement by the IMF team lead, Hashim Tefera, says Kenyan officials and the team from IMF have mutually agreed to discontinue the 9th review under the Extended Fund Facility and Extended Credit Facility programs. The lending program, which began in April 2021, is set to expire next month. The IMF cited anti-tax hike protests in June 2024 as a key disruption to its implementation. By October last year, $3.12 billion had been disbursed under the facility. During a December 2024 visit, IMF Deputy Managing Director Nigel Clark acknowledged the program's role in enhancing Kenya's resilience to economic and climate shocks. However, he highlighted the ongoing fiscal challenges, including strengthening Kenya's financial framework and managing debt vulnerabilities. He noted that the government faces a delicate balancing act, meeting social and development needs while fulfilling debt obligations. The IMF team has confirmed that it has received a formal request for a new financing program and will soon engage Kenya on the way forward. Wairi Mujenga for Lunchtime News.
Well, thank you for that report. Now, U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an order to scale back funding for news organizations such as the Voice of America. The White House says the move is aimed at curbing what it calls radical propaganda and anti-Trump bias. Here are the details of this and other stories making headlines across the globe.
And MSDNC.
In a statement, the Trump administration says the decision cut funding for Voice of America ensures taxpayers' dollars are not used to support what some politicians and right-wing media have criticized as biased reporting. The move sidelines 1,300 staff and impacts Voice of America's parent agency, U.S. Agency for Global Media, which funds Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia. Voice of America Director Mike Bramowitz warns the cuts cripple efforts to counter misinformation from U.S. adversaries. The National Press Club calls it a threat to press freedom. Elon Musk supports shutting Voice of America down, while European officials seek ways to keep it running. Meanwhile, China is set to expand foreign investment opportunities in key sectors, including advanced manufacturing, high-tech, and energy conservation. The National Development and Reform Commission announced plans to release an updated investment catalogue later this year, broadening access to foreign business and easing financing. More investment will be encouraged in central and western China, particularly in basic manufacturing, applied technology, and consumer goods. This aligns with the government's commitment to boosting foreign investment, reaffirmed during recent national legislative meetings. Finally, Germany's major political parties have agreed on a debt reform plan that will significantly boost defense spending. The deal paves the way for amending the constitutional debt brake, which was introduced in 2009 to limit budget deficits. The reform will lift restrictions on defense spending beyond 1% of gross domestic product and establish a €500 billion fund for infrastructure projects, including transportation and power grids. The proposal will be submitted to the Bundestag tomorrow for approval. Sylvia Gatti, reporting for Lunchtime News.
Central Region, Tujiamini gold winner has opted to give back by supporting his fellow athletes in strengthening their training routines after he acquired gym equipment from his gold winnings. The gym equipment is a shared resource for his fellow athletes who train alongside him as he continues to others to take part in identifying their talents and putting them to use. Tujiamini, the transformative initiative that has empowered young Kenyan talents, is now expanding its focus to support a broader community project in addition to the sporting talents. Muturi Ekano's Salome Keka won the 500,000 through the Tujiamini initiative in 2024.
Naweza uliza watu wengine hapo nje wenye wanataka ku-apply for Tujiamini. We have this Gold Community Award yenye ni up to 1 million Kenya shillings. Kama uko na mradi inaweza saidia kwa community. Kama ni sports ama kama ni any mradi uko nayo, it will really boost and yeah, it's going to help a lot.
Apologies for that slip of the tongue. It is kayaking. Unfortunately, kidogo matamshi hapo imeenda vibaya, but it is kayaking. Elsewhere, Uasin Gishu Junior Boys School and Testimony Junior Girls School are the champions of the M-Pesa Junior NBA Rift Valley Region Finals held at the Uasin Gishu School Courts in Eldoret. The fourth leg of the M-Pesa Junior NBA tournament will be held this weekend at Kenyatta Sports Ground in Kisumu.
3 ball.
Uasin Gishu Boys School defeated Testimony Junior School from Keses 13-11 to win the boys' title, with Daniel Mangi adding the winning points in the final minutes of the game.
It's about the work you put in, nothing else. It's about the work you put in, and at the same time, just having to play this kind of tournament. The boys have never been in this kind of a thing. So it is also an excitement to them.
With the introduction of Junior MB and the support from the M-Pesa Foundation, actually I think we are going places. We are going places. Because what you have seen here is just amazing. Yeah, and we really encourage the program to continue.
The girls' final was equally intense, but Testimony Junior School beat Uasin Gishu Junior School 18-17 to take home the title.
This is a big deal for us. Growing up, kwa tunaona NBA, tunasema siku moja tunaenda kucheza NBA, but round hii NBA imekuja yenyewe hapa home ambayo ni kitu fiti sana. Unaweza imagine feeling watoto wanasikia all the superstars wana watch kwa basketball. Most of them are playing because of the NBA stars. So for NBA coming to this town is a it's a great deal.
Uasin Gishu boys qualified to the finals after beating Open Arm 14-10 in the semi-finals, while Testimony girls booked their spot in the final by beating Kipsi Nende 13-7.
All these games have been won by 1 point or 2 points. And that I don't want to tell you the story how the fans, the coaches were all captivated and motivated to watch this game. And if it continues like this, I think we're about to see some serious players that develop out of this program.
Kapkoi Junior Boys School and AIC Lelmokwo Junior Girls School finished in third positions.
We are partnering with the NBA, which is why we're in Eldoret today. But the main idea is to foster a culture of financial literacy amongst our youth by introducing them to M-Pesa at an early age, hence the M-Pesa Go product. So we want them to understand how to work with money, how to budget, how to save, and later on how to invest. So we are starting them early.
The two-day tournament saw 40 teams comprising 450 players from Rift Valley taking part in the tournament.
The mighty Gunners were able to thump Chelsea at the Emirates 1-0. You can say Chelsea was seeing the Blues at the North London Stadium. And of course, the international break will see at least the various continents and showpieces of the various nationals will be facing each other. That is where the teams, the members of those particular teams have gone to. And of course, the English Premier League, I can confirm it to you, they will be back at exactly on the 1st of April, that is next month, on a Tuesday. And it will be a weekly fixture match, starting off with Arsenal versus Fulham. And of course, we'll end off with a Merseyside derby on Wednesday, where Liverpool Liverpool will be taking on Everton. That concludes our bulletin this afternoon. Do join us in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Lensa Odingo. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Wait, am I reading this right? I can follow social media accounts and make over $260 in a day? Well, it's a scam, of course. But scams like this are a huge global business, and many scammers are even victims themselves. Our topic on Shift. This is Aaron. He was taken to Myanmar under false pretenses and forced to scam people online or via the phone. We'll show you Aaron's story in a moment. But what exactly is scamming?
Essentially, I think scamming in its general form is really a way of deception, right? And scamming, I think, in particular, phone scamming or online scamming is a modern way of social engineering attacks where basically you're exploiting individuals' emotions or potentially weaknesses in trying to lure them and making some profit or gain.
Scammers prey on our trust and often offer money. One of the first internet scams were poorly written emails from the so-called Nigeria connection. For example, I receive money in my account, which I then transfer in exchange for a reward. Of course, there isn't any, and I have effectively laundered dirty money. But in today's world, AI scams are on the rise. Using AI software like ChatGPT, scammers can now translate scam emails into any language with increasing accuracy, mistake-free and tailored to each target group. One popular scam is the so-called shock call. A scammer posing as a police officer demands bail for a family member allegedly involved in a crime or accident. But the scam took a more sinister turn recently thanks to AI.
Es hat ja auch schon diese Angriffe gegeben in USA.
There have been cases in the US where mothers received calls from their daughter's alleged kidnappers. A mother would hear her daughter's voice in the background saying, "Mum, Mum, they're hurting me." And of course, the voice was AI generated. Someone will have recorded the daughter's voice somewhere and used AI to sound like her.
Diese Aussagen gemacht.
Just a snippet of a real conversation or voice memo is enough for the AI. Deepfakes too, that's AI-generated videos, are becoming increasingly attractive for scammers. Microsoft's unreleased AI model Vasa 1, for example, can generate animations from a single photo from, say, an Instagram account.
Do some push-ups. Run up and down the stairs.
Any language can be lip-synced. Professionals armed with forensic tools may still be able to identify the fakes, but amateurs, on the other hand, might have difficulty spotting them, especially at first glance. The most important thing for scammers is not the technology, but gaining the trust of their victims.
Wir reagieren also immer sehr mit Vertrauen.
We're very trusting when someone gives us just a few pieces of information, like the name of someone we know. But that information is easily accessible on social media. Who I am friends with, who I am in contact with. Anyone could go and use their names. We're often not so aware of that.
Many scammers work from West Africa, Southeast Asia or Eastern Europe and often target the richer global north. Vulnerable people are targeted first, like children and seniors. But also people who are lonely, tricked by so-called romance scammers, are taken advantage of financially. Scamming has long been part of organized crime worldwide. In Southeast Asia, there are entire office complexes where hundreds of scammers work side by side. But in many cases, the people in these so-called scam factories are actually victims themselves, having been brought there under false pretenses and forced to defraud others. A UN report shows the scale of this modern form of slavery.
Credible sources indicate that at least 120,000 people across Myanmar may be held in situations where they are forced to carry out online scams, with estimates in Cambodia similarly at 100,000. Other states in the region, including Lao PDR, the Philippines and Thailand, have also been identified as main countries of destination or transit where at least tens of thousands of people have been involved.
Aaron, too, was forced into scamming others against his will for months. He spoke to DW about his experiences. His nightmare began on a trip to a job interview in Bangkok, Thailand.
We were supposed to go to a hotel that is like maybe 10 minutes away from the airport, but we drove in a different direction.
10 minutes turned into several hours.
That's when we realized we are not going to Bangkok. I was so scared.
It is hours before Aaron and the other victims reach their destination. They cross the river Moe and end up at the notorious scam factory known as KK Park. It is here where thousands of people were taken to, forced to defraud others in China, Europe or the USA. One of the people behind the KK Park scam factory is Broken Tooth. He is believed to be the head of a Chinese triad. According to former forced laborers, the factory is secured by a border guard unit from northern Myanmar, which in turn consists of former rebels. The victims are not only from the region, but like Aaron, also from Africa, for example. KK Park is professionalized even to the extent that the forced workers must study manuals with precise instructions on how to build trust and exploit weaknesses. They must meet certain targets. How many people they contact and what they earn is tightly monitored.
Security was checking our computers, seeing if we are doing our job or playing.
Punishments in the factory are draconian. You are denied food if you don't have new customers by noon. And if you don't answer on time, you're beaten or forced to stand for hours. 17-hour working days, no vacation, no break. This is what several of the victims told DW reporters. Those who want to leave are threatened with death or being sold to another factory. One of the methods KK Park and other scam factories force their workers to employ is using crypto scams, convincing people to invest in non-existent cryptocurrencies. Laura's story starts while trying to form new connections online.
After a while, this guy, he says, we have this type of cryptocurrency. I wanted to learn how cryptocurrency works, and this person was so kind. He said, I'm going to teach you.
Cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin are popular as an investment. The risk is high and so are the potential profits. But cryptocurrencies are poorly regulated, transactions difficult to trace, which also makes them highly attractive for organized crime.
So I trusted this person. I let him teach me. You invest in the website, you can see your funds there, you can take out the money.
The scammers maintain contact with the victims for months, persuading them to invest more and more money. Laura thought the website was legitimate. She was convinced she was investing her savings well. Instead, her money flowed into a crypto wallet, a kind of digital account, and was in the hands of the fraudsters.
I wanted to withdraw a couple $1,000 and I couldn't withdraw them. And this person was pushing me to invest more money into this cryptocurrency.
Then the website went offline. The scammer no longer replied and the money was gone. This form of online fraud is known as pig butchering. The fraudster fattens the victim up before taking them to the slaughterhouse.
And you're left wondering, why is this person doing this to me?
Laura was looking for like-minded people online, but this search ended up costing her a lot of money. Scams like that can often involve five-figure sums and be very traumatizing and embarrassing for the affected.
Victims often don't tell anyone. They're so ashamed. In the worst cases, people even take their own lives because they feel so much shame. Sometimes rendered hopeless, having lost so much money.
It's an incredibly lucrative business for criminals. In the US, for example, scammers stole a monumental $10 billion from private individuals in 2023. And that's not even including scams against companies. So how can you protect yourself? Scammers often use false identities, posing as bank or postal service employees. If you suspect a scam, it is best to start by checking the spelling of email addresses or websites. Since the real address is already taken, scammers